The cursed grave of Carl Pruitt. The story goes back to Kentucky in 1938 when a man named Carl Pruitt came home one day to find his wife in the arms of another man. In a wild fury, he strangled his wife with a chain. Before killing himself, the other man fled. After Pruitt was buried, visitors to the graveyard noticed the discoloration was starting to appear on his tombstone, and it looked very eerily similar to that of a chain. Before long, a boy trying to impress his friends chipped the tombstone by throwing a rock, and immediately afterward fell victim to a freak accident that claimed his life. His bicycle chain somehow came off and strangled him as he rode home. The mother of the boy, naturally devastated, decided to vent her anger on the gravestone, hitting it repeatedly with an axe. The following day, she too became the victim of Pruitt's grave curse. She was found strangled by her own clothesline, which had inexplicably wrapped around her neck as she was hanging laundry. Not long after that, there was another incident which cemented the grave's reputation as being cursed. A farmer fired a gun at the tombstone while passing the graveyard in his wagon. The horses sped up, frightened by the gunshot, and the farmer was thrown out of the wagon. As he fell, one of the reins wrapped around his neck and strangled him. By now, the number of strangulations linked with the grave was starting to look like more of a coincidence. But that didn't stop two cops from tempting fate by trying to take photos of themselves by the graveside. When they drove away from the cemetery, they noticed they were being followed by a bright light. As they sped away, the vehicle crashed into a fence, and one of the policemen died, his head almost entirely severed by the chain that hung between the two fence posts. For years, people avoided the cemetery, terrified of meeting their hideous death. But by the 1940s, one man decided that he would take the risk of attacking the tombstone with a hammer. He was later found dead by the cemetery gates. How did he die, you ask? Well, as you guessed it, he was strangled by the chain that locked the cemetery gates. It's no wonder that shortly afterward the cemetery was stripped and the cursed tombstone was removed permanently.